My beloved child, something in the spirit realm has shifted tonight, and Archangel Michael is standing closer than he ever has before. He is not whispering, he is declaring with thunder in his voice that this message carries a December 11th warning that cannot be ignored. The heavens have released something meant for you, a money miracle that has been held back for years. And yet, the angel assigned to your breakthrough is standing guard with urgency, refusing to let your spirit scroll away, refusing to let you miss what God has marked with your name. You were not supposed to hear this message by coincidence. You were pulled into it because Archangel Michael has been fighting a battle over your finances, a battle you felt but could not name, a battle that made your hands tired, your mind weary, and your heart question whether God even remembered you. But the truth is being unveiled now. Your miracle arrived before you did, and the enemy tried to hide it. Tonight, on this divine date, December 11th, Archangel Michael steps forward and says, "Child of the Most High, your money miracle is already standing at the door. But you must hear this message before it enters. Listen closer. For months, you have felt blocked. You have seen opportunities slip. You have watched unexpected expenses drain you. It wasn't random, it was spiritual interference. But God has issued a command, and Archangel Michael has executed it with a sword of fire. Every financial chain attached to your life is being broken right now. Yet this breakthrough comes with a condition. You must not abandon this message before its revelation is complete. Because the angel warns, if you skip this message, you will cry all your life, not out of punishment, but out of regret, because what is being revealed here is the key you have prayed for in silence. The key you begged God for when no one else knew how close you were to giving up. And the angel says something deeper. For years, you believed your miracle was delayed. But heaven says, it was delivered on time. Your understanding simply hadn't arrived yet. Tonight, your understanding catches up. Your money miracle is not coming someday. It is not something you have to chase. It has already been released. Heaven's record shows your name next to financial restoration, but a spiritual veil kept you from recognizing it. That veil is tearing right now. Archangel Michael is showing me a vision. I see a door, sealed not by locks, but by discouragement. Every time you felt maybe it won't happen for me, that door grew heavier. Every time you felt embarrassed about your financial state, the door tightened. Every moment you settled for less because you were too tired to hope, the door hardened. But hear this with your spirit tonight. The door is cracking open, not because of your strength, but because the angel has placed his hand upon it. And once Michael touches something, no force in hell can shut it again. God says, your miracle has arrived, but your awareness must meet it. And once you understand this message, you will be positioned to receive what belongs to you. This is why the angel is so adamant that you do not scroll away. Not because this message is long, but because your destiny is. And what is being unlocked here tonight is not temporary relief. It is permanent repositioning. I hear this in the spirit. You will not walk into the new year carrying the same financial sorrow that followed you this year. A divine exchange is happening. Old debt for new provision. Old fear for new wisdom. Old limitations for new divine strategies. And Archangel Michael says you are not just stepping into a miracle. You are stepping into a cycle of supernatural money flow that can no longer be stolen, delayed, or interrupted. But the angel adds one more urgent whisper. Pay attention now. Because what I reveal next will show you why the enemy fought you so violently and why this breakthrough had to come on December 11th specifically. Before you move forward, hold your spirit steady, because the next revelation is where everything begins to make sense. This is the moment people usually click away without realizing they were standing at the gate of their own prophecy. But you, if you remain, will witness what heaven has been waiting to deliver into your hands. Hold on, what comes next will shake your understanding of why God chose you for this miracle. Type "I receive my angelic release" in the comments if this is touching your spirit. Blessing code 441 has just been released. Hold your breath for a moment, because the next revelation is where the hidden truth rises to the surface. Beloved soul of light, there is a tremor moving through the unseen realm right now, and Archangel Michael is urging me to speak without delay. What you are about to hear is not just explanation. It is exposure. Exposure of the reason your finances were strangled, your peace was stolen, and your progress appeared frozen while others seemed to sprint ahead. Heaven is finally pulling back the curtain, and the truth behind this December 11th warning is beginning to breathe in your direction. Archangel Michael stands in front of you in the spirit, not with a sword raised in battle now, but with a scroll unrolled, a scroll that carries your name and details every interruption your life has endured. He is showing me that for a long time, you thought you were merely unlucky or overlooked. But Michael reveals that the real reason your financial miracle was delayed was because forces that feared your anointing targeted the very area where your destiny needed the most freedom. They understood something you did, that once your finances aligned with God's intention, no wall, no system, no limitation, and no person would be able to control you again. Heaven has known for years that the moment you stand financially stable, you become unstoppable. That is why your peace was contested. That is why opportunities vanished at the last moment. That is why money slipped through your fingers even when you tried to be careful. But tonight, the angel says the interference ends. What God has approved cannot be blocked by spiritual shadows any longer. Michael leans close and says, "Your miracle arrived early, but you did not see it because the adversary fogged your vision. And understand this, it was not your fault. You were battling forces you could not name, patterns you did not recognize, and spiritual resistance you did not understand. But your perseverance mattered. Every moment you kept going, even when you felt empty, marked your name in heaven with a fire that no darkness could extinguish. Now the angel wants you to understand something crucial. Your miracle is not just a sum of money. It is a shift, a divine repositioning, a financial realignment that corrects every crooked place the enemy manipulated. This miracle carries restoration, justice, repayment, and a fresh opening of paths that were sealed years ago. And God chose December 11th because this is the day your spiritual season changes direction. What came before today does not dictate what comes after. This date is a spiritual boundary line. You crossed over it without knowing. Michael is simply revealing what heaven has already recorded. I hear something powerful rising. Your pain was not wasted. Your tears were not wasted. Your patience was not wasted. Every delay is becoming fuel for the financial breakthrough that is now chasing you. Let this settle deeply. You are not running after a blessing. The blessing is running after you. But the angel says you must understand the truth behind the warning. The reason skipping this message would lead to lifelong regret is because this revelation is the activation key. Without understanding, miracles remain unclaimed. Without awareness, blessings sit unopened. Without revelation, what is already yours cannot manifest in your life. But tonight, you are being awakened. Your eyes are being opened. Your faith is being reignited with heavenly fire. You are stepping into the version of yourself that the enemy prayed you would never become. Archangel Michael now shows me the same door from before, but this time I see golden light pouring through the cracks. The pressure you felt recently was not destruction, it was expansion. The shaking was not punishment, it was preparation. The frustration was not rejection, it was redirection from the things that were too small for you. God had to disrupt certain areas of your life because you were settling in places you had outgrown. And now, the light behind the door grows brighter, because heaven is revealing what stands on the other side, provision you did not earn, opportunities you did not chase, and breakthroughs that have your name etched into them. The angel whispers again, what you thought was denied was actually being preserved. You were protected from financial traps that looked like blessings. You were shielded from dishonest people who would have drained your spirit. You were kept away from environments that would have drowned your gifts. Heaven's delays were not rejections, they were divine shields. Now the shield is lowering because your season of release has begun. But hear this carefully, because Michael is insistent. The revelation you are about to receive next will show you the exact reason why the enemy trembled at your future and why your miracle carries such weight. You are only one step away from understanding the real purpose of this blessing. And once you understand it, your life will never return to its former limitations. Hold steady, child. What is coming in the next revelation is not ordinary insight. It is the unveiling of your divine financial identity. If this part has reached you, it is because heaven chose you. And if heaven chose you, nothing on earth or in the spirit realm can cancel what belongs to you. Type "I receive my open door" in the comments to seal this word into your spirit. Blessing code 992 is now activated. Before your spirit moves forward, breathe deeply. The next revelation will connect everything you have felt but could never explain. Chosen Spirit of God, there is a trembling in the heavens right now, and Archangel Michael is standing in a posture of victory as this next revelation unfolds. What you are stepping into is not just clarity, it is confrontation with the truth that has been hidden behind your financial struggles for years. The angel says, now is the moment the veil must be torn, for the child must know the weight of the mantle they carry. You have not been battling for money. You have been battling for identity, authority, and divine positioning. And tonight, the heavens decree that you will finally understand why your finances were the first battlefield the enemy ever chose. The spiritual realm has known your potential long before you did. And Archangel Michael reveals that the enemy saw something in you before you could see it in yourself. The capacity to shift your entire bloodline. This was never about a few bills or financial inconveniences. This was about generational chains that would have remained unbroken if your miracle had not arrived. The moment God marked you as the first one in your lineage to rise financially, spiritually, and mentally, darkness registered you as a threat. You may not realize this yet, but you carry a mantle that others in your family were not strong enough to bear. Your breakthroughs will not just bless you, they will alter the spiritual fabric of your bloodline. The enemy fought you not because you were weak, but because you were chosen. And Archangel Michael now whispers a truth that shakes the atmosphere. They attacked your finances because they could not attack your calling. Your calling is anchored in heaven, unreachable and untouched. So the enemy tried to destabilize the areas that felt closest to earth, your money, your stability, your hope, your sense of direction. But every attack became evidence of your elevation, and every loss became a seed in God's hands, waiting for a harvest that now stands at your doorstep. Michael shows me a vision. I see your hands held out, empty yet glowing. The emptiness you felt financially was never the absence of blessing. It was the clearing of space for something greater. Heaven needed your hands empty so they could be filled. Heaven needed your dependency realigned so that you would rely on God, not on the world. And now, with your hands open, your spirit ready, your heart softened, the miracle that has been waiting on the other side of your obedience is finally stepping forward. God says, your money miracle is not charity, it is compensation. Compensation for the nights you cried. Compensation for the times you survived on hope alone. Compensation for the seasons where you gave more than you had, believing somehow it would come back. Heaven kept record of every moment you sowed despite your lack. And now the harvest is being commanded to locate you without delay. But the angel gives a warning wrapped in compassion. Do not take this lightly. What comes next requires listening. The enemy did not fight you for years only to watch you escape easily. The moment this breakthrough begins manifesting, distractions will arise. Unnecessary voices will appear. You will feel a pull to abandon the message just before understanding the full strategy heaven is trying to give you. But Michael says, if they remain, they will receive what generations before them were denied. There is a divine reason this message came to you on this exact day. Your spirit reached a readiness point. You crossed a threshold without knowing it. Heaven marked your name for release, and now the angelic realm is orchestrating your steps so that you do not miss what belongs to you. There is a vibration around your life that was not there before. Your atmosphere is shifting. Your spiritual alignment is tightening. Your path is clearing. And here is the truth. The enemy never wanted you to discover you were never waiting on money. Money was waiting on you, waiting for you to reach a spiritual maturity where the blessing would not be wasted, misdirected, or manipulated by others. You have been prepared. You have been seasoned. You have fought battles that trained your discernment. You have carried burdens that strengthened your spiritual muscles. And now God trusts you with a miracle that is entering your life with unstoppable force. Archangel Michael stands tall and declares, tell them the flow begins now. Not tomorrow. Not next month. Not eventually. Now. A supernatural flow of provision begins to follow you like a shadow in daylight. You are stepping into a financial rhythm where blessings meet you before you call, where opportunities rise before you knock, where resources appear before you feel the need. Yet the angel adds, there is one more revelation ahead, and it is the most important. It explains the deeper purpose behind the miracle. Without it, they will not carry the blessing with wisdom. So hold tightly to the next part. It will expose the final truth and position you to walk fully in what heaven has appointed for you. Before we move forward, lift your spirit for a moment. What comes next will connect every unanswered question in your life and reveal why God has chosen you for this season. Like this message, share it, comment under it, hype this message for others who need it, and subscribe so you never miss the next divine instruction sent for your upliftment. Type I walk into my divine compensation in the comments. Blessing code 1155 has now been released. The same breakthrough power that is touching your finances in this message is the same power God uses to reach others through this channel. Every time you sow into this mission, you are not helping a platform. You are helping heaven reach a soul that is standing where you once stood. God is opening rivers in dry places, and your seed becomes part of that river. I hear the word of the Lord saying, as you pour into my work, I pour into your life. This is where my voice becomes personal. If God is stirring your heart to act, do it now. The theme of this message is divine release, and your giving becomes a prophetic alignment with that release. To those who support through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, I speak blessings over your hands. May everything you touch begin to flourish. Step into this moment boldly, for heaven honors those who move when God calls. Beloved vessel of divine purpose, as this next layer unfolds, Archangel Michael steps forward with a level of intensity that signals a deeper truth is about to be revealed. The air in the spirit realm grows thick, almost electrified, because what is coming now is not merely revelation but redirection. Your life is being restructured even as you read this. There are moments when heaven pauses the flow of time to pour clarity into a soul, and this moment, right now, is one of them. Michael's presence is not passive. He stands as a guardian over your financial destiny, ensuring that nothing distracts you from what must be understood next. He says, "Child, the miracle released for you is not random. It is strategic." This means your financial breakthrough is not meant to decorate your life. It is meant to reposition it. Heaven is not giving you a blessing for comfort but for assignment. And this is where many lose their way because they do not realize that financial miracles often come wrapped inside spiritual mandates. God is not simply restoring your finances. He is awakening the generational role you were born to fulfill. Michael reveals something extraordinary. For years, heaven has been preparing a path for you that required financial liberation. Had the blessing come earlier, before your spiritual maturity, before your discernment sharpened, before your trust evolved, the enemy would have redirected it. The timing was never about denial. It was divine protection. And now, on this sacred threshold, your heart, your spirit, and your purpose are finally aligned. There is an image forming in the spirit. I see a long corridor stretching before you, lined with doors. Some doors are labeled opportunities, others labeled restoration, and others labeled divine partnerships. These doors were always yours, yet remained inaccessible because your financial chains weighed your spirit down. Chains of worry, chains of survival mode thinking, chains of fear, chains of old beliefs that whispered you were unworthy of abundance. The enemy knew if he could keep you financially fearful, he could keep you spiritually timid. But tonight, Michael is unlocking those doors one by one. And as they open, the light pouring out is so bright that even the shadows of your past begin to dissolve. You must understand this next truth deeply. Your miracle is not coming to you for consumption, but for expansion. God is enlarging your territory. You may not see the full picture yet, but the breakthrough you are receiving is connected to assignments you have not yet stepped into, assignments that require resources, stability, and strength. Heaven is not repairing your finances. Heaven is elevating your capacity. Michael speaks again. Tell them that this release is not small. It is not subtle. It is not temporary. It is a turning of the tide. This means the shift happening in your finances is not a spark but a fire. It will spread through every area of your life until nothing remains under the weight of lack. You will notice this change not just in money, but in your confidence, your decision-making, your self-worth, your relationships, and even in your dreams. For what is abundance except the reflection of a soul aligned with God's intention? But the angel adds something crucial. They must release the mindset that was shaped in the years of struggle. This is the part many overlook. The chains around your finances may be broken, but the chains around your thinking must also fall. Scarcity taught you to shrink. Fear taught you to hesitate. Lack taught you to only expect what you could see. But now God is calling you to walk with a renewed mind, a mind that expects overflow, a mind that embraces increase, a mind that believes resources will appear because heaven is backing your steps. There is a moment coming soon where an opportunity will present itself, and at first you may feel unqualified or unprepared. Michael says, that moment is the sign that the miracle has rooted itself. Take that opportunity boldly, for it is divinely placed to activate the next phase of your elevation. Finances will begin to flow through unexpected channels. People who once ignored you will suddenly value your presence. Doors that remained sealed for years will begin opening without effort. This is not luck. This is alignment. And yet, the most powerful part of this revelation rests in what comes next. Heaven is preparing to reveal not only what your miracle will do for you, but who it will transform you into. For God never releases provision without also releasing identity. You are not the same person who cried in frustration months ago. You are emerging as someone heaven recognizes with honor. You are stepping into the version of yourself that carries authority, influence, and divine direction. But before the next layer unfolds, Archangel Michael urges you to stay firmly rooted in this moment. There is a temptation, subtle but real, to underestimate what God is doing because you cannot fully see it yet. But trust this: revelation always precedes manifestation. Understanding always comes before evidence. Tonight, heaven is preparing the soil of your spirit so the seeds of abundance can grow without interruption. Hold steady for what follows next. The revelation ahead will be the connection point between your financial healing and your divine purpose, and without it, your breakthrough cannot reach its full expression. The next unfolding will carry the deepest truth of all. Type "My mind is now renewed for abundance" in the comments if this is speaking to your spirit. Blessing code 330 has been released over your life. Pause your heart here, because the next message will unearth the purpose behind your rising and show you why heaven fought so hard to position you for this moment. Precious soul of divine intention, the atmosphere around you is shifting once again, and Archangel Michael steps closer with a gravity that signals the next revelation is both delicate and powerful. This is the part where heaven leans in, where silence in the spirit becomes instruction, where the unseen realm prepares to reveal the purpose behind your elevation. You have crossed the threshold of breakthrough, but now you must understand the weight of what is happening within your life. The miracle is not only arriving, it is aligning. And alignment is the language of destiny. Michael begins to speak with a tone of deep assurance. You were never ordinary. Your journey was never common. Your struggle was never random. There is something inside you that the enemy recognized long before you did, something that made you a target of spiritual resistance, not because you were weak, but because you were essential. You carried a spark capable of igniting faith, hope, and transformation in others. The enemy's strategy was simple. If he could weaken your finances, he could weaken your voice. If he could weaken your voice, he could dim your impact. But heaven intervened. God did not allow the enemy to silence what he himself breathed into you. This is why, from childhood, you felt different. You saw the world through a lens others did not understand. You carried questions others dismissed. You felt burdens others walked away from. Even when you made mistakes, even when you felt lost, heaven watched with anticipation because God knew that your path, even in chaos, was leading to clarity. There is nothing in your story that God cannot use, nothing wasted, nothing irrelevant. Every wound in your heart became a place where heaven could plant wisdom. Every season of lack became a training ground for faith. Every moment you felt overlooked became a divine rehearsal for the influence you were destined to carry. And now Michael reveals something profound. Your financial breakthrough is not meant to simply restore your life. It is meant to reposition you as a carrier of light. God is raising you into a higher spiritual identity, one that will require strength, discernment, and resources. Your voice will matter. Your presence will matter. Your decisions will matter. For too long you measured yourself by what you lost, but heaven has always measured you by what you carry. And tonight, heaven is reminding you that you carry far more than you realize. The angel shows me a symbol, something like a seal shining over your head. It represents a calling, a purpose, a divine authorization. The seal was present even when you doubted yourself. It was present when you felt unseen. It was present when you cried quietly, wondering if life would ever shift in your favor. The seal did not weaken. It waited. It waited for this moment, for your maturity, for your readiness to step into responsibility that comes with abundance. God will not bless a soul without also elevating its identity. You must understand this. Your miracle is not coming to crown your comfort. It is coming to crown your calling. The next season of your life will not look like the ones before. Money will no longer be the loudest voice in your mind. Fear will no longer dictate your choices. Survival will no longer be your default mindset. You are being elevated to think from a place of abundance, not scarcity, purpose, not panic, clarity, not confusion. Michael leans forward and says, "Tell them the reason they were fought financially is because heaven plans to trust them with influence. Influence requires character. Influence requires maturity. Influence requires a heart refined through fire. And that fire was your journey. Every challenge became a purification. Every setback became a lesson. Every season of waiting made your spirit stronger than your circumstances. There is another vision coming through. I see you standing at a crossroads, but you are not afraid. You are equipped. You have knowledge you didn't have before. You have strength you didn't realize was growing inside you. The path ahead is illuminated, not by your own efforts, but by divine orchestration. Heaven is guiding you toward choices that will multiply your life, not diminish it. Toward connections that will uplift you, not drain you. Toward decisions that will reinforce your purpose, not sabotage it. But Michael adds an important truth. Abundance requires identity alignment. This means you must begin to see yourself as heaven sees you. You must let go of the voice inside you that says you are not enough. You must dismiss the old belief that you are destined to struggle. You must silence the narrative that says blessings come to others but not to you. This miracle is not happening around you. It is happening to you. Heaven is not blessing a crowd. Heaven is blessing a chosen vessel. And that vessel is you. Your identity is rising. Your authority is awakening. Your spirit is expanding into the fullness God intended. You are not stepping into wealth just to have more. You are stepping into wealth to become more. The blessing is shaping you, refining you, elevating you, positioning you for doors that only open for those who understand their worth in God's eyes. Before the next message comes, Michael urges one thing: hold on to expectation. Expect the shift. Expect the confirmation. Expect the evidence. God moves in the lives of those who expect Him. And the next layer will reveal the magnitude of the assignment that comes with your miracle. Type "I rise into my true identity" in the comments to seal this revelation. Blessing code 707 has now been poured over your spirit. Prepare your heart, for what comes next will reveal why heaven fought for you and what your breakthrough is truly meant to awaken. Beloved bearer of divine purpose, as this next revelation opens, a profound stillness settles in the spiritual realm. It is the kind of stillness that comes only when heaven prepares to speak a truth that changes the trajectory of a soul. Archangel Michael stands before you, not as a warrior in this moment, but as a witness, one who has walked with you through battles you never saw, one who shielded you when your strength nearly collapsed, one who fought for your life during seasons when you did not know how targeted you truly were. His presence is gentle but resolute, carrying the weight of what heaven is about to place upon your spirit. Michael begins with a truth that pierces through every layer of doubt. You survived because your future demanded it. This means every storm, every disappointment, every financial valley, every betrayal, every breakdown, every silent night of questioning, all of it was resisted by heaven because your destiny carries too much power to be extinguished prematurely. You were not preserved by luck. You were not kept by chance. You were upheld by divine necessity. Your story was needed. Your voice was needed. Your rising was needed. Heaven never viewed you as fragile, even when you felt broken. Heaven viewed you as foundational. Foundational spirits endure more pressure than ordinary souls because their lives become pillars for others. You were being shaped in silence, carved through adversity, refined through financial hardship, until your spirit developed the resilience that heaven required for the next chapter of your assignment. And now Michael reveals, the chapter you are entering will require everything you have learned. There is a vision unfolding in the spirit. I see you standing in a vast open space, and suddenly pathways begin lighting up around you, pathways that were invisible before. Some lead to opportunity, some to influence, some to healing, some to purpose-driven relationships, and others to unexpected forms of provision. These paths did not appear just because your finances shifted. They are appearing because your identity and your destiny have caught up with the miracle that was waiting for you. Your breakthrough is not simply opening one door. It is activating an entire landscape of possibilities that were locked until now. Michael now reveals something deeper, something you must hold with reverence. Your financial miracle is not isolated. It is interconnected to your spiritual assignment. This means your abundance has purpose. Your increase has intention. Your stability has direction. Heaven is not releasing resources into your life without also releasing instruction. And that instruction is beginning to crystallize within you, even if you do not fully understand it yet. You will soon begin to feel guided toward actions, decisions, and environments that align with your calling. Not from pressure, but from a profound inner knowing. The angel continues, you are stepping out of survival and into strategy. This is a powerful shift. When a soul is in survival mode, it reacts. But when a soul is in strategy mode, it governs. It decides with clarity and moves with purpose. It builds instead of begging. It manifests instead of mourning. Heaven is elevating you from being reactive to becoming intentional, and this shift will become the birthplace of long-term growth. But Michael reveals something even more astonishing. There is a mantle being placed upon you. A mantle of financial stewardship, spiritual influence, and divine responsibility. This mantle is not a burden. It is an empowerment. It is heaven's acknowledgement that you have reached the level where you can be trusted with increase. You are not being blessed randomly. You are being entrusted intentionally. God does not elevate someone who remains tied to old identities. This is why you had to go through the refining seasons. This is why your heart had to learn resilience. This is why your hope had to be rebuilt from the ground up. The angel shows another vision. I see a book opening, and pages are turning quickly. These pages represent the next phases of your life. They turn with speed because acceleration is now upon you. What once took years will now take months. What once required struggle will now require simply obedience. What once felt impossible will begin unfolding with fluid grace. Heaven is not delaying your elevation any longer. The time of waiting has expired. Michael speaks again. Tell them that the next part of their miracle involves alignment with their divine voice. That means your perspective is shifting. Your decisions are becoming sharper. Your spirit is becoming more aware of divine nudges. You will look back at this season one day and realize that this was when heaven rewrote the direction of your story, when financial bondage broke, when spiritual confidence awakened, and when purpose became louder than pain. But the angel gives a gentle caution as well. Do not shrink back now. This is not the time to doubt yourself. This is not the time to question whether you are worthy of the blessing. This is not the time to fear the magnitude of what God is giving you. Heaven has decided you are ready, and when heaven decides, nothing in the natural world can argue against it. You must walk forward with steady faith, for the ground beneath your feet has already been blessed. Before this message concludes, Michael urges you to hold your attention steady, for the revelation that follows this one will uncover the deeper spiritual mechanics behind your miracle. He will show you why certain people disappeared, why certain situations collapsed, why certain doors closed, and why your life had to shift in ways you did not understand. What is coming next will tie your entire journey together. Type "I am ready for divine alignment" in the comments to anchor this revelation into your spirit. Lesson code 448 is being released over your path. Remain attentive, for the next unveiling will reveal purpose in places where you once saw only pain. Cherished one of heaven's design, as this next dimension unfolds, the spiritual air grows heavy with a sacred intensity. Archangel Michael moves with purpose, not rushing, not hesitating. Each step he takes in the spirit realm signals that the revelation ahead has the power to reshape how you interpret every season of your past and every opportunity waiting in your future. This is not a moment of casual insight. This is a moment where heaven unveils the architecture of your journey, showing you why your path looked so different from the paths of others. You are stepping into understanding, and understanding is the gateway to empowerment. Michael begins by saying, every separation in their life was a setup. These words come with a deep vibration that touches the core of your spirit. You spent years wondering why people walked away, why certain relationships dissolved unexpectedly, why support systems crumbled at the exact moment you needed them most. But now heaven reveals the truth. Not every person was permitted to accompany you into the realm of abundance that God has prepared. Some individuals were tied to the strategies of the enemy, not necessarily knowingly, but through their energy, their negativity, their limitations, with their inability to grow with you. Your miracle required an environment that could sustain it, and heaven removed anyone who could not handle your rising. I see a vision forming. You are standing on a large platform, and around you are ropes connected to different people from your past. Some ropes are frayed, some knotted, some tangled. As your spirit rises, some ropes break naturally, while others must be cut by the hands of an angel. This is what happened in your life. You were elevated beyond the capacity of certain connections. Heaven did not permit them to journey with you because their presence would have diluted your blessing, distracted your focus, or drained your strength. Your separation was not rejection, it was preparation. Michael Lance, tell them their elevation required isolation. Not emotional isolation, but spiritual isolation. Moments when heaven positioned you in a quiet, uncomfortable place because your spirit needed space to grow without interference. When your finances were attacked, when you felt abandoned, when you felt unseen, you were not being punished. You were being refined. Heaven was clearing the noise around you so your destiny could find room to unfold. The silence you endured was not emptiness, it was sacred preparation. The angel now shows me another powerful image. I see a large door with divine markings etched on its surface. This door represents your breakthrough, your financial shift, your elevation into purpose. Behind the door is light so bright it almost hums. But standing in front of the door are shadows shaped like old habits, old fears, old versions of yourself. Heaven needed these shadows to dissolve before the door could open. This is why your life went through cycles of emotional and spiritual cleansing. You were being separated not just from people but from patterns, beliefs, and mindsets that could not exist in the environment God was preparing for you. Michael says, you have been transformed into someone the enemy no longer recognizes. This is profound. The version of you that was easily discouraged, easily intimidated, easily manipulated, easily overwhelmed, that version no longer exists. The struggles you survive have reshaped your spiritual frequency. The enemy cannot track you the way he once did. You have become spiritually untraceable because you have grown beyond the old patterns where the enemy once found access. Your financial breakthrough, therefore, is not just provision. It is evidence of transformation. It is the result of deep internal shifts that heaven orchestrated for years. You are not stepping into abundance as the same person you were in the valley. You are stepping into abundance as the refined, elevated, and spiritually awakened version of yourself. This is why the miracle had to come now, not then. Heaven waited for the version of you that had the capacity to sustain blessing without collapsing under its weight. But Michael reveals something more intimate, something you may have never realized. Your faithfulness during seasons of lack created a spiritual fragrance that reached heaven. In other words, your integrity, your quiet endurance, your resilience, your ability to still hope even when everything was falling apart. These acts rose like incense before God. Heaven responds not to perfection but to persistence. You persisted. You did not quit. You did not abandon your soul. You did not lose your spiritual sensitivity, even when you were hurting. This persistence positioned you for the breakthrough now unfolding. I hear another powerful truth. Your miracle carries justice. Heaven is not only blessing you, heaven is correcting what was mishandled, stolen, delayed, or sabotaged in your life. You are not receiving a blessing just because it is time. You are receiving a blessing because you endured injustice with grace. Now heaven is repaying you with interest, not just financially, but emotionally, spiritually, relationally, and mentally. Michael now leans closer and says, "Tell them what comes next will reveal the full purpose behind the miracle." They must not lose focus. This is important because the enemy always attempts to distract those who are close to breakthrough. But your spirit is alert now. Your discernment is sharp. You can feel the shift. You can sense something approaching. You know heaven is orchestrating something greater than anything you have walked through before. As this part reaches its end, hold your heart steady. The next revelation will expose the divine blueprint behind your transformation and show you why God trusted you with this miracle. Type "I embrace my divine separation" in the comments to seal this truth in your spirit. Blessing code 2244 is now released over your path. Prepare yourself, for the next unveiling will illuminate the very reason heaven moved mountains to bring you into this moment. Beloved vessel chosen for divine elevation, as this next revelation opens, the spiritual atmosphere around you becomes charged with a frequency that only appears when heaven is preparing to finalize a shift that has been unfolding for years. Archangel Michael stands before you not as the warrior you have seen in earlier visions, but as a herald, one sent to declare what heaven has already completed concerning your life. His presence carries a solemn authority, as though the words that follow are meant to seal what has already been set in motion. Heaven has spoken. The miracle has been dispatched. And now the purpose behind the miracle begins to reveal itself in full clarity. Michael begins with a declaration that vibrates through the spirit realm. The blessing is not coming to improve your life. The blessing is coming to reposition your life. This means heaven is not merely giving you financial ease or stability. Heaven is shifting the axis of your entire existence. You are stepping out of one spiritual season and into another with such force that the ripple will echo forward into every area of your destiny. This is not an upgrade. This is a redefinition. For years, the enemy tried to use your financial struggle as a veil, something to blind you, discourage you, silence you, and convince you that your life would never rise beyond limitation. But Michael reveals now that heaven allowed certain battles because they awakened a fire inside you that complacency never could. Your resilience was forged in adversity. Your faith was sculpted in lack. Your discernment was sharpened in disappointment. And your calling was clarified through the very storms that attempted to drown you. I see a vision unfolding. Your finances were not just attacked, they were targeted with precision. Every time you got close to stability, something would collapse. Every time you began to breathe easier, an unexpected weight fell upon you. This was not coincidence. This was spiritual interference meant to keep you small, quiet, hesitant, and inwardly broken. But something remarkable happened instead. Every attack only pushed you deeper into self-awareness, deeper into spiritual sensitivity, deeper into alignment with your true identity. Heaven was watching, recording, and responding. Now Michael says, the season of being shaped by struggle is ending. The season of being shaped by revelation is beginning. This is powerful. Up until this moment, your growth came from pain, endurance, and survival. But now your growth will come from insight, wisdom, clarity, and divine instruction. Heaven is changing the way your life evolves. Your breakthrough is not simply financial. It is intellectual, emotional, and spiritual. The angel now reveals something that will shift your understanding of everything that has happened. Your miracle had to be delayed until your voice matured. This may surprise you, but heaven never releases influence without readiness. Your voice is rising. Your presence is strengthening. Your spiritual authority is expanding. And with that expansion, heaven is entrusting you with resources, not just to bless you, but to position you as a carrier of light in a world drowning in confusion. You are being elevated for impact. Michael then shows me another vision. I see you stepping onto a higher platform, and as you rise, the shadows of past limitations fall away completely. Financial fear dissolves. Old insecurities fade. Self-doubt loses its grip. You no longer think like the person who struggled through yesterday. You think like someone heaven has prepared for tomorrow. The breakthrough is not just in your bank account. It is in your identity. And now the angel declares something profound. You will not return to the level you once struggled in. Heaven has closed that door permanently. You are stepping into a new dimension of alignment where blessings find you, where opportunities approach you, where favor locates you without you having to chase it. This is the shift you have been sensing, the spiritual current pulling you forward, lifting you, elevating you, transforming you from the inside out. But Michael cautions gently, do not underestimate what heaven is doing. Do not let familiarity trick you into thinking nothing has changed. Because everything has changed. Heaven is recalibrating your path. Divine strategies are being planted in your thinking. Your intuition is awakening to new heights. You will begin to make decisions with clarity you never had before. You will begin to notice patterns that were once invisible. You will see opportunities that others overlooked. This is the intelligence of the Spirit resting upon you. The angel adds there is still one final revelation ahead, and it carries the core of the message, the heartbeat of why heaven fought for you, protected you, and prepared you. What comes next will illuminate the full weight of your calling and the full intention behind your financial miracle. But before that final unveiling arrives, Michael urges you to anchor this truth within you. You are not rising by accident. You are rising by design. Your elevation is divine. Your breakthrough is intentional. Your transformation is irreversible. Like this message, share it with others who need to hear heaven's voice. Comment your agreement. Hype this message so it reaches more souls. and subscribe so you never miss the divine revelations destined for you. Type "I step into my new dimension" in the comments. Blessing code 6060 has just been released over your life. The same power that is lifting you into a new dimension is the power God uses to reach thousands through this channel. When you sow into this mission, you do not give to a platform. You ignite a movement of light, truth, and breakthrough for others who are standing where you once stood. Heaven says, as you release into my work, I release into your destiny. This is where I speak directly from my spirit. If this message stirred something deep within you, let your action reflect your faith. The theme of this word is elevation, and your seed becomes a prophetic alignment with that elevation. Whether through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, your support becomes a spiritual catalyst. May every giver be met with overflowing recompense, for heaven responds swiftly to those who move at the sound of God's call. Beloved spirit, aligned with heaven's unfolding plan, as this next revelation rises, the spiritual realm becomes almost thunderously quiet. It is the type of silence that comes not from absence, but from anticipation, because what heaven is preparing to unveil now is the spiritual architecture behind your breakthrough. Archangel Michael stands with a solemn authority, holding a clarity that is meant to illuminate every unanswered question inside you. This is the part where the threads of your past, the weight of your struggles, and the timing of your miracle all begin to weave into one divine tapestry. Nothing about your life has been random. Nothing about your journey has been overlooked. Heaven has been orchestrating something far more intentional than you ever realized. Michael begins to speak with a steadiness that feels like truth settling into the bones of your spirit. The blessing you are stepping into is not the result of chance. It is the result of spiritual laws that have been working in your favor even when you could not see them. There were moments when you questioned whether God heard you, when you wondered if your prayers were colliding with an empty sky. Yet heaven was responding, not with silence but with strategy. The delay you interpreted as denial was actually preparation. What you thought was stagnation with alignment. Your tears, your endurance, your quiet perseverance, they were all seeds planted in a soil you didn't know existed. I see a vision forming, a field in the spirit realm, and beneath the soil are countless seeds, some labeled endurance, some labeled patience, some labeled faith, others labeled obedience. These seeds were sown during the hardest seasons of your life. Times when you could barely make sense of what you were enduring. Times when you gave even when you felt empty. Times when you stood in faith even though everything around you contradicted your hope. Heaven recorded every moment, every whisper, every cry, and every attempt you made to hold on. The field has been maturing for years, and now the harvest is ready. Michael continues, they must understand that their breakthrough is the answer to prayers they forgot they prayed. You prayed for stability. You prayed for clarity. You prayed for restoration. You prayed for guidance. You prayed for doors to open. Some of these prayers were whispered years ago, but heaven has a perfect memory. Nothing you ever brought to God was ignored. The timing simply required your spirit to reach a maturity where you could receive what was meant for you without losing yourself in the blessing. Heaven does not release what your identity cannot sustain. Another vision surfaces. I see a river flowing, but there are stones in the water. These stones represent the internal blocks that once obstructed your spiritual current. Fear, unworthiness, doubt, past pain, old voices that told you were not enough. Over time, heaven works to remove these stones. Some were lifted gently through healing. Others were shattered through pressure. And as each stone moved, the flow increased. Now the river is clear, uninterrupted, ready to carry abundance into your life without obstruction. Michael speaks again. Tell them their miracle required not just external preparation, but internal alignment. This is crucial. Heaven aligns outcomes by first aligning identity. You needed to become someone who could receive without fear, who could rise without guilt, who could prosper without shrinking, who could live blessed without apologizing for it. Your spirit is finally positioned to accept what heaven has always intended for you. There is a truth rising in the spirit. Your financial breakthrough is connected to your spiritual awakening. These two movements are not separate. One is the reflection of the other. As your inner world healed, your outer world began to shift. As your perspective changed, your environments began to transform. As your spirit awakened, doors that once resisted you began to yield. Heaven does not release blessings externally until the internal container is ready to hold them. Michael reveals another layer. The next phase of their life will require the wisdom gained from every hardship. This means nothing you endured was wasted. The loss taught discernment. The delays taught patience. The betrayals taught boundaries. The scarcity taught stewardship. The confusion taught surrender. These lessons are not remnants of pain. They are tools of destiny. In the coming season, you will navigate opportunities that require the exact wisdom you gained from your hardest experiences. Heaven was equipping you long before you knew what you needed to be equipped for. Then Michael says something that shifts the entire foundation of this message. Their blessing is not just for their comfort. It is for their influence. You are being positioned to carry impact. Your elevation will touch more than your household. It will affect others, inspire others, strengthen others, and break chains for people who have never met you but will feel the ripple of your rising. Heaven raises people not just for personal transformation but for generational transformation. You are part of a divine chain reaction. Another image appears. I see a flame igniting from your spirit, and that flame lights torches in the hands of others. This represents influence, not through force but through presence. Your breakthrough becomes a testimony. Your story becomes a catalyst. Your rise becomes a map for those who do not yet see the path before them. Before this part closes, Michael offers a gentle yet powerful reminder. What is coming next will reveal the final intention of heaven behind this miracle. The deepest purpose, the ultimate assignment, the hidden reason behind your long journey. It waits in the next unveiling. You must not disconnect now, for you are standing at the edge of full revelation. Type "My harvest has found me" in the comments to anchor this word into your spirit. Blessing code 9191 has been released over your journey. Hold your spirit steady, for the next revelation will reveal why heaven has chosen you specifically for this miracle. Beloved soul chosen for divine unveiling, as the next wave of revelation rises, the spiritual realm grows luminous with a clarity that feels almost overwhelming. Archangel Michael stands in a posture of deep reverence, as though heaven itself is leaning closer to witness the moment you finally understand the magnitude of what has been unfolding over your life. This is not ordinary insight. This is the unveiling of heaven's hidden intention, the deeper current beneath every battle you fought, every delay you endured, and every moment you questioned your own strength. What you are about to receive is the truth that reframes your entire journey. Michael begins with a statement that carries the weight of prophecy. You were not being prepared for a breakthrough. You were being prepared to become a breakthrough. These words ripple through the spiritual atmosphere, shifting the perspective of your soul. For so long, you believed that everything you endured was leading toward a personal blessing, a personal financial shift, a personal improvement. But heaven reveals now that your journey was never meant to end with you. It was meant to begin with you. You are not merely receiving abundance, you are becoming a source of it. You are being formed into a vessel through which heaven will channel influence, wisdom, and provision into the lives of others. I see a vision emerging. You are standing in a barren landscape, but the moment you step forward, the land beneath your feet begins to flourish. Grass grows, flowers bloom, streams begin to flow. Wherever you move, life appears. This is symbolic of the anointing that rests upon your spirit. Your presence will bring renewal. Your words will bring clarity. Your decisions will open pathways. Your rising will create space for others to rise. You are not moving into a season of receiving only. You are moving into a season of becoming. Michael continues, the enemy did not attack your finances because of the money. He attacked your finances because of the influence heaven planned to entrust to you. This is a powerful truth. Money was never the point. Influence was. Purpose was. Authority was. The enemy feared the person you would become if you ever stepped into a life not weighed down by financial fear. He feared the stability, the clarity, the confidence, the discernment, and the spiritual authority that would follow your breakthrough. His strategy was never to steal your money. It was to suffocate your potential. But heaven intervened, preserved you, equipped you, and brought you to this moment where nothing can stop the unfolding of your divine assignment. Another vision comes into focus. I see you standing at the edge of a vast body of water. The surface is still, reflective, almost like a mirror. Michael touches the water, and ripples spread outward, each ripple carrying light. He says this is your life now. Everything you do will carry influence beyond what you can see. This ripple effect is spiritual, emotional, financial, generational. You will break cycles that have existed for decades. You will create opportunities that did not exist before. You will influence people who never had a voice speaking life into them. Your very existence becomes a divine disturbance to darkness. Michael speaks again with intensified clarity. Your blessing is not about luxury. It is about legacy. Heaven is not elevating you so you can simply enjoy comfort. Heaven is elevating you so you can rewrite the story of your lineage. You will be the first in your family to break certain limitations. You will be the first to experience consistent financial flow. You will be the first to walk in sustained spiritual awareness. You will be the first to rise in a way that shifts everyone connected to you. You carry mental breaking power. Now another truth arises. Your miracle comes with responsibility. This is not a heavy burden, but a sacred commission. When heaven increases you, heaven expects you to live with intentionality, to speak with purpose, to move with clarity, to build with discipline, to bless others with wisdom, to steward resources with maturity. You must begin to see yourself as more than someone receiving a blessing. You must see yourself as someone carrying a calling. What you do next will shape more than your bank account. It will shape destinies. I see another vision, a hand from heaven pouring oil over your head. The oil flows down your shoulders, your arms, your hands, all the way to your feet. This is symbolic of divine empowerment. Heaven is anointing not just your finances, but your decisions, your influence, your relationships, and your future. Everything you touch will begin to shift. Everything you build will begin to grow. Everything you commit to will begin to align. You are stepping into a supernatural dimension of grace, favor, and productivity. Michael then says, the breakthrough ahead requires courage. Not fearlessness, but courage, a willingness to move forward even when the path is unfamiliar. You will soon encounter opportunities that once felt too big for you. Now they will feel aligned. You will speak with authority you once doubted you possessed. You will step into spaces you once believed were unreachable. Heaven is enlarging your territory, and you must walk into that enlargement without hesitation. Before this part comes to a close, Michael leaves one more revelation. What comes next will unveil the divine assignment attached to your abundance. You have seen the preparation. You have seen the transformation. You have seen the purpose. But soon you will see the mission. Why heaven chose you. Why heaven protected you. Why heaven trusted you. Type "I am becoming the breakthrough" in the comments to anchor this truth. Blessing code 5151 is now flowing over your destiny. Steady your spirit, for the next revelation will prepare you for the responsibilities of the abundance entering your life. Beloved soul standing on the threshold of destiny, as this next movement of revelation unfolds, the spiritual realm brightens with an intensity that signals you are approaching the core of heaven's intention for your life. Archangel Michael stands before you with a countenance both fierce and compassionate, as though he has waited a long time for this moment when your spirit becomes capable of receiving the truth that has been protected for years. What you are about to hear is not merely guidance. It is the unveiling of the assignment attached to your abundance, the mission that stands behind the miracle, the divine reason your journey has been so uniquely shaped. Michael begins with a truth that feels like a fire settling in your spirit. Your life is entering a phase where purpose becomes more important than comfort, and calling becomes more important than convenience. The blessing coming to you is not random financial relief. It is not temporary provision. It is not heaven throwing something into your life to soothe you. It is a strategic release, a deliberate empowerment, a spiritual investment into someone heaven has chosen to carry responsibility, influence, and assignment. You are no longer being positioned merely to receive. You are being positioned to lead. I see a vision unfolding like a scroll being unrolled in the heavens. Written across it is a map of your destiny. This map shows territories of influence, places your presence will shift, people your words will strengthen, doors that will open because you arrive, and generational patterns that will crumble because you chose to rise. The blessing coming to you is not separate from this map. It is connected to every location, every person, every door. Your abundance is not just provision, it is permission. Permission to step into the spaces heaven designed for you long before you were born. Michael continues, tell them that financial restoration is only the beginning. Transformation is the true miracle. This is the moment where your perspective must expand. Yes, heaven is releasing wealth, opportunities, resources, and provision. But the true miracle is who you are becoming because of it. There is a version of you emerging, stronger, wiser, clearer, grounded, spiritually awake, emotionally balanced, and attuned to divine direction. This version of you is heaven's answer to generational brokenness. You are heaven's disruption to the patterns that kept your family limited for decades. You are stepping into the role of a restorer, a builder, a carrier of light. Michael reveals another profound truth. The reason your journey was difficult is because your assignment is large. People with small assignments do not endure great battles. People with ordinary paths do not attract extraordinary resistance. The enemy saw the magnitude of your influence before you ever recognized your own potential. This is why your spirit was attacked when you were young. This is why your confidence was targeted. This is why your finances were restricted. This is why relationships you trusted fell apart. The enemy's strategy was not random. It was preventative. He tried to stop the version of you that is now awakening. Another vision forms. I see you walking through a valley, but behind you, trees begin to grow, water begins to flow, and life begins to spring forth. This is symbolic of your impact. You will not realize how many people are nourished by your journey until you look back one day and see the transformation left in your footsteps. Heaven is positioning you to bring life into places that have been barren for years. You are a carrier of renewal. Michael now speaks with solemn authority. Your blessing comes with a requirement: obedience to your calling. This does not mean pressure or fear. It means alignment. Heaven is not asking you to be perfect. Heaven is asking you to be available. Available to be guided. Available to be taught. Available to step into opportunities that feel bigger than you. Available to say yes even when your history tempts you to say no. The abundance coming to you is not meant to make you comfortable in old patterns. It is meant to elevate you into new ones. A new vision appears. I see you holding a lantern. Behind you is darkness, but before you, the lantern illuminates a path. This lantern represents divine guidance. You will not walk blindly into your next season. Heaven will lead you with clarity. Doors will open with confirmation. Opportunities will come with peace. People who belong in this next chapter will feel aligned. Those who do not belong will fall away effortlessly. You will not need to chase anything that heaven has assigned to you. Michael offers another revelation. Your miracle is not coming to fit into your old life. It is coming to escort you into your new one. This is crucial. You cannot carry old habits, old fears, old guilt, or old limitations into the environment heaven is preparing for you. Those were weights that belong to a previous version of yourself, a version you have outgrown. Your abundance demands a new mindset, a mindset that expects growth, that embraces opportunity, that stands firm in identity, that understands worth, that believes in divine timing. There is one more vision. I see a crown hovering above your head, not a crown of royalty in the earthly sense, but a crown representing responsibility, authority, and spiritual maturity. As you rise in abundance, heaven expects you to rise in character. As resources increase, wisdom must increase. As influence grows, humility must deepen. This crown is the symbol of your new role, someone trusted by heaven to carry what others could not. Before this part concludes, Michael leaves you with a message that vibrates with destiny. The final revelation will unveil the full mission behind your breakthrough, the completed understanding, the final piece, the reason heaven chose you specifically. Type "I receive my divine assignment" in the comments to anchor this truth into your spirit. Blessing code 4040 is now activated over your path. Hold steady, for the next unveiling is the culmination of everything heaven hath been preparing you to understand. Beloved ones, standing in the full light of heaven's intention, as this final revelation opens, the spiritual realm shifts into a stillness so profound that it feels as though creation itself is listening. Archangel Michael is no longer standing at a distance. He is before you, with his wings lowered in a posture of honor, as if acknowledging the spiritual maturity you have stepped into throughout this journey. His expression carries both victory and tenderness, for the message he delivers now is the culmination of everything heaven had been shaping inside you. This is the final piece, the truth behind your breakthrough, the purpose behind your pain, the assignment behind your abundance, and the reason heaven refused to let you skip this message. Michael begins with words that resonate like sacred thunder. You were chosen because heaven saw what you could not yet see in yourself. These words settle into your spirit with an unmistakable weight. You were not selected due to perfection, performance, or privilege. You were selected because heaven saw alignment. Heaven saw willingness. Heaven saw endurance. Heaven saw potential wrapped in humility. Heaven saw a heart that, despite its wounds, never lost the ability to believe. Heaven saw someone who could carry a blessing without worshiping it, someone who could rise without forgetting where they came from, someone who could be trusted with breakthrough because they understood the value of struggle. Then Michael speaks again, revealing the truth that ties every previous revelation together. Your miracle is not only for your life, it is for your mission. Heaven did not spend years preparing you, protecting you, training you, and refining you just so you could enjoy comfort. Heaven prepared you so you could walk into a divine assignment that transforms others. You are not just stepping into abundance, you are stepping into purpose-driven abundance. Wealth with direction, favor with responsibility, increase with intention. Your life is shifting from survival to impact. I see a vision forming. You are standing on a high mountain, and as you look out, you see countless valleys below, each valley representing lives, families, communities, even generations that will be touched by your elevation. Your rising is not isolated. It is influential. Your breakthrough becomes the permission others need to believe that their own chains can break. Your testimony becomes a roadmap for those who feel lost. Your transformation becomes a sign that heaven still intervenes in the lives of ordinary people and makes them extraordinary. Michael continues, the reason darkness fought you so fiercely is because your victory liberates more than your life. This truth pierces deeply. The battles you endured were never about the job you lost, the money that slipped away, the relationships that collapsed, or the doors that were shut. Those were symptoms. The real target was your potential. The enemy tried to silence you before you discovered your authority. He tried to exhaust you before you uncovered your assignment. He tried to limit your finances because your future influence terrified him. But heaven knew what the enemy feared, that once you awakened, nothing would stop you. Another vision rises. I see a torch in your hand. When you lift it, flames spread across the darkness, not destructive flames, but flames of illumination. They reveal pathways for others. They ignite hope in those who have gone numb. They warm spirits that have grown cold from disappointment. This torch symbolizes your calling. Your life will light places that have been shadowed for generations. Your words will carry healing. Your presence will carry clarity. Your rise will carry transformation. Michael adds, your abundance is meant to fund your assignment. This does not mean simply giving money away. It means using your resources, your time, your voice, your spiritual insight, your wisdom, your stability, to build what heaven instructs you to build, to step into opportunities that require courage, to invest in your growth, to bless others strategically, not impulsively, to support missions aligned with God's heart. Your financial miracle is not meant to sit still. It is meant to move, circulate, create change, and open doors for the destiny heaven is unfolding through you. Then comes the revelation with the deepest spiritual weight. You are stepping into the era where your life becomes the evidence of God's intervention. Your story will not just be something you survive. It will become something others study, honor, and draw strength from. You will become a living testimony that God restores, God elevates, God vindicates, and God fulfills His promises. People will look at you and see what endurance produces. They will hear your voice and feel heaven's echo. They will watch your steps and see divine orchestration. Another vision appears, a book with your name on it, and as it opens, a new chapter begins, not written in ink, but in light. This chapter is titled Purpose. Everything heaven withheld until now, everything heaven protected, everything heaven nurtured, is being released in this chapter. Your finances, your clarity, your opportunities, your spiritual gifts, your partnerships, your influence, they are all lining at once. You are stepping into convergence, where preparation meets opportunity, where healing meets purpose, where identity meets assignment. Michael lowers his voice and speaks the final message. Do not shrink. Do not doubt. Do not question whether you are worthy. Heaven has declared you ready. This is your activation. This is heaven's confirmation. This is the sealing of your assignment. You were not chosen by accident. You were chosen by alignment. And now you will rise with a confidence that is not arrogance, but obedience. Like this message, share it, comment under it, hype it, and subscribe so that every divine revelation meant for your spirit continues to reach you without interruption. Type "I walk in my divine mission" in the comments to seal this final revelation. Blessing code 8888 is officially released over your life. As you step into your divine mission, understand this: every time you support this channel, you are not giving to a voice, you are giving to a movement. Heaven is using this platform to awaken spirits, unlock destinies, and release breakthroughs just like the one you are stepping into now. When you sow into this mission, you are placing your seed into the very atmosphere that reshaped your life. I speak this with authority. The same oil flowing through this message will flow back into every hand that supports it. The theme of this final revelation is divine mission, and your act of giving becomes a prophetic declaration that you are aligning with heaven's work. Whether through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, your support becomes a weapon of light. May every giver be rewarded with overflow, open heavens, and divine multiplication. Step into this moment boldly, for God commands it and heaven honors it.